Good morning. Welcome to Normandy, France, where we're having our 5-day workshop. Can I hear a hello from everybody?
Hello.
Good. Merci. Today's talk is about taking strong action and the power of intention. When you think about taking really strong action in your life, it's usually that you're not missing energy. Most people are not missing energy when they don't take action. They're missing motivation. And the question is, why do people lack motivation on the edge of an adventure where they need to go in and expend a lot of energy? The reason is that they're not really seeing the possibility and the existence of a stronger, higher self and a better life. If you're talking to an athlete or a businessman who's about to get venture capital to start a new thing, everybody's got energy. What they're not seeing is there a higher me? Is there a wealthier me? Is there a version of me who has more love in their life? If you don't see that, you're not going to have motivation. So whenever you want to motivate yourself, you have to get yourself to a place where you collect evidence that there is indeed a higher, happier version of you already available. If you can't see that, everything becomes theoretical. Once you collect evidence that there is a happier version of you already here, a stronger version of you, wealthier, healthier, and all that. Once you collect that evidence, then you have the motivation to do so. With motivation, then you need one other thing. In order to launch into action, you need energy. So nobody in this world has ever succeeded without energy. The only way you can have maximum energy is to find that life purpose that suits your God-given talents. It's in line with the activity that fascinates you. Which topic is it that you're constantly researching? Which activity is it that's aligned with your childhood, teenagehood, inborn talents? Which activity is it that never ever discourages you? No matter how many times you fall down, you get back up and try more. If you find that activity, then you're never going to run out of energy. So what we're saying is, step number one, you need motivation. And the only way you're going to have motivation is if you can visualize that there is a higher you already available under your skin. Second, you want to launch into the project, you need energy. As long as you're faking who you are, you're losing energy. So if you're a ballerina and you're stuck in a bank as a banker, you're going to be lacking energy because you're faking it. Once you find your life purpose, then we talk about momentum. Momentum is a very magical thing. It means once you've found what you love, you show up every day. And because you love it, no matter how many times you fall down, you get up with your bloody knees and try again. Every time you try, you're building up more momentum. The nice thing about momentum is once it gets going, then any additional effort that you need to put into that project later on, those additional bits of energy are less and less. Why? Because the heavy wheels have started rolling. Let's say you start a dental office on day one. You've got 2 clients. You show up every day for a year and a half. You send out mailers to the neighborhood. You do excellent jobs. You do some free tooth fillings and so forth. In a year and a half, you now have 150 clients. You now have momentum. With momentum, you don't need to make as many phone calls to fill up next week's list of patients coming into your dental office. I want you to trust momentum. Perhaps you already do. It's a very magical thing. In other words, we don't get discouraged when we first start our project or venture. Because at the start, it's very, very heavy to get those wheels rolling. A year and a half, what's happened is you've built up experience, You've built up faith in yourself. You've built up courage. You've built up clientele, reputation, expertise. All of that is coming from momentum. Back to the talk of how to induce powerful action. Emotions play a very, very important part in taking strong action. You need to figure out some way of inducing moving emotions in yourself as if you are already at the final destination. The quantum field, the field of the atoms, also responds to your emotions. If you have emotionalized action, you can move thousands of people. Listen to some of the great speeches of the world, like I Have a Dream, Martin Luther King. Okay, he was emotionalized. Mahatma Gandhi, the same thing. Nelson Mandela, same thing. If your words are emotionalized, then people look into your eyes and you've got fire here. If you've got fire in your eyes, everybody's going to follow you. Because you're not selling anything, you're being yourself. You have to figure out how to induce emotion, not fake emotion. Once you figure out that there is a greater version of you already ready to come out of your skin, you collect evidence that I already have the skills, I already have that greater self, and then you get very emotional about it. What would my life be like a year from now? Sitting by this river, having the love of my life, having enough in my bank account, being able to run or do exercise for an hour, being at the right body weight that I like, etc., etc. The emotion will stir up the quantum field of the creative force, and it will stir you up. Another thing I recommend for taking strong action, as long as we're carrying this heavy baggage of my life story, the girlfriend who broke up with me in 9th grade, the father who may not have been present enough, the teacher who broke my heart. This is the heavy baggage of past memories. That's your old story. As long as you stay with your old story, you cannot take very powerful action. Because powerful action takes you out of the zone that you've been comfortable with. And there is no way to take powerful action if you sit in your zone of comfort. It's impossible. The greatest things any of you have done was when something kicked you out of your zone of comfort. You've never done anything great sitting comfortably in the zone that you're used to. Something needs to kick your derrière, as they say in French. Right? So here's what I'm going to say. Once in a while, as you launch into your new project, take a breath. As you're taking in this breath, just say to yourself, life is coming in. And as life comes in, I want you to turn over your life to the life force coming in. Whatever is coming in with this breath is what was feeding you in your mother's womb. It's the original energy. So when you're about to launch into this huge venture that requires 50 times more energy than you've ever had, your only choice is to get past your old story. And the fastest way to get past your old story is life comes in, life acts out. See? God force comes in, God force acts. And what we just minused out was your first name, last name, your old life story, and so forth. So I just spoke to you about taking strong action. Before you take strong action, you need to use the power of intention. What is intention? Intention is the energy behind every thought, word, and action. Before you speak, before you think, before you act, you must have an intention. What's an intention? Intention is, what kind of a human being do I want to be? How do I want to touch other people? What kind of a life do I want to have? So forth. Intention is the framework that holds your day. When you wake up with an intention, you wake up with the intention of this Sunday morning, no matter how busy I am with the stock market, I'm going to keep my attention on my little daughter. Then you get an email that the market has gone down. The intention brings you back to your daughter. It's like a framework. This world is full of distractions, social media, evening news, and all of that. Those distractions are going to harm you. Your life has nothing to do with reality shows, social media, or the evening news. Your life is your life. You're the only one who can carve your life. Therefore, distraction to you is like poison, because you forget what's important in your life. Let's come back to intention. Intention gets rid of distraction, because you get up this morning and you say, this Sunday, I am spending quality time with my little daughter. That's it. So it's getting rid of distraction. Without an intention, you're like a boat without a rudder. You're just being swept here and there. The nice thing about intention, as you follow your intention, every time you succeed, you celebrate with yourself. Because you've set out on this intention and you've achieved something, so you have a cause for celebration. You can never become lethargic or depressed when you have an intention. And you can never lose energy when you have an intention, because there's an destination where you're headed. We will follow this talk with other useful talks. So I want to thank you for being here in Normandy, France with me. Enjoy the river, and I wish you could breathe this air. God bless, and we'll talk soon.